I like to hear other people's ideas about things that they have found that really work well for them in their kitchen, and I wanted to share some of my favorite kitchen items with you this week. Now, as someone who has tried to pare down a lot of the clutter and extras in my kitchen, a lot of things got donated that had been piling up and filling up my pantry and utensil drawers that just never were used. A total waste of money and something that I regretted buying. But these 5 items are absolutely not on that list. I use these items every week, and I wanted to share the favorite ones with you and see if maybe you have any favorite items that you can share with me as well. One of my favorite items that I have in my kitchen is actually one of the oldest items, and that's my KitchenAid mixer. Chris bought me this mixer on our 1-year anniversary, and we've been married over 21 years. So this has gotten a lot of use and a lot of abuse throughout the years, but it keeps going strong nonetheless. The thing I really like about the KitchenAid is it is a stand mixer. You can turn it on and allow it to do its work while you go and get other ingredients or do something else in the kitchen. It's really good at kneading bread. It's really good at mixing up any kind of baked goods. It's also really good for making butter. And I also have one of these attachments that will slice or grate different foods that you can put into this attachment compartment here. I never for a really long time knew what this was for, why it had this wing nut, but I finally figured out it's really simple just to place it in and lock it down, and then when you turn it on, it will grate the cheese or the vegetables that you have. That makes it really simple, and it's also a really simple cleanup. So that is one of the great things about having a KitchenAid, is that you can have all of these extra attachments that allow the KitchenAid to take the place of a multitude of different kitchen gadgets or kitchen appliances if you just have the small attachment that goes with the KitchenAid mixer, which makes it good for less clutter. Next on my list is this progressive chopper, and this is a game changer if you like to have homemade French fries or sweet potato fries, or if you like to make vegetable trays. This little gadget right here, I know that it's a little bit large, but it is definitely worth the space that it takes up. So all you have to do is put your potato into the grate, which is on the top, and that's actually where the grate is actually the knives that are in it, and then you take the lid and you press down. And when you're done, you have all of these little bitty French fries. I normally just spread these on a pan and toss them with some olive oil and some salt. Sometimes I'll put a different kind of seasoning, maybe rosemary or Italian seasoning, sometimes some pepper. And then I put it in the oven at 425 and bake them for probably about 20 minutes or so, just until they're done. And then you have a pan full of fresh oven-baked French fries, and it was zero trouble to chop all of them up, and this is easily cleaned in the dishwasher. So I highly recommend that you check out the progressive potato chopper. Number 3 on my list is my Keurig coffee maker. I love coffee, and one of the very first things that I do every morning is go and get me a cup of coffee. This coffee maker is nice because if you need a larger amount of coffee, you can brew a pot of coffee, but if you don't need so much, this coffee maker also takes the K-cups, or you can make your own individual K-cups in the little reusable filters. A regular K-cup comes out as a really good cup of coffee, and also it makes a really good pot of coffee. So this has been our go-to coffee pot for several years now, and it has stood the test of time, and we use it a lot, so it is definitely good quality and makes great coffee. Next on my list is my Dutch oven. I use this Dutch oven so often. It is a great size and it is really well made. It is, I don't know how to say the brand. Trementina. I don't know how to say the brand. It's not the high-end brand of Dutch ovens, but it is still really well made, and I feel like it could not really be any better in the way that it works and cooks the food. I like to make my sourdough bread in this Dutch oven, and I also like to make soups or roasts in this Dutch oven as well. I will leave a link below for you to check out this particular item, but there are also tons of other different brands that you can search for on Amazon or at Walmart. I would just highly recommend that you set aside a little bit of money to purchase a good Dutch oven. I don't think that you'll be sorry if you invest the $40 or so that it costs to have a Dutch oven in your kitchen. I think that you will really get your money's worth and you will really enjoy having it. Last but not least, certainly not least, is my iron skillets. Now, as someone who has really tried to get rid of a lot of extras, this was something that I really struggled with when it came to having too many of them and which ones I was going to get rid of. I love iron skillets. It's really the only thing that I cook with when I need a pan, and even sometimes it will take the place of a pot. I will most of the time either be cooking in my Dutch oven or in one of my skillets. I have a couple of stainless steel pots, but I don't love them, and I really do enjoy cooking with these cast iron skillets. Whenever I was newly married and had young babies at home, and I was beginning to be more aware of the items that I was using and maybe the health implications of some of the ingredients in my cookware, I tried to switch to cast iron skillets. And in my ignorance, I just could not figure out how to make scrambled eggs come out of the pan without being more mess than it was worth. Well, after years and years of experience and learning, I have discovered that using cast iron is not hard. It's not difficult. There's just a couple of things that you need to keep in mind whenever you're using your iron skillets, and if you do these few tips, you will not really have any trouble at all with your food coming out clean, and the skillets will pretty much be non-stick. The first tip is use some cooking oil. I like to use either coconut oil or olive oil, but you can choose which cooking oil works best for you. Those two are pretty high heat oils, and so anything that I cook using those oils, it won't start smoking really bad. So that's one reason that I choose them. And then just let the oil heat up before you put your food in. That's where I was going wrong with the eggs that I was making so many years ago. I would pour them in cold, and it would not cook properly because I hadn't preheated my skillet. So if you are going to cook anything in your skillet, just turn the eye on and put a little bit of oil in there first, and then you can go ahead and put your food in without worrying that it's going to stick and make a big mess and be really hard to get off. As a rule, you shouldn't really use detergent cleaners on your iron skillets. It's not good for the finish, and it removes the non-stick coating that you are building up as you use the skillet. So try to, as much as you can, just clean it out with hot water and a rag, and then just dry it off either with a towel or on the eye of the stove, and it should be just fine for use next time. I have a lot of different sizes, and that's one of the great things about iron skillets is the versatility and the many different options. So I will leave a link in the description below about several of the different kinds that I have, and then maybe that will help you to make a decision about which sizes and shapes are right for you. Well, I definitely have more items in my kitchen that I enjoy using on a regular basis, but I will save that for another video. I'm really thankful that you're here, and I thank you for your support. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I hope that you will go and do that now, and please share the videos with your friends and family. Thank you for watching today. I hope you have a wonderful week. I love you, and I will see you next time.